Hello and welcome. You join me, ADG, and here we are for the opening round of Season 10. Season 10 of the Gran Turismo Touring Car Championship, hosted by Mature Racing Club. And shout out to Dennis Schuer. He puts in a lot of effort to keep all this going, and it's a very popular championship that a lot of people get involved in. Anyway, for those that might be joining me for the first time or I've never heard of any of this, I'll quickly run through what the cars are and everything. So it's Group 4 cars, it's Group 4 Championship. There's no tuning on, there's no tyre wear on, and there's no fuel depletion. Other than that, there's a bit of a different BOP system used, balance of performance system used in this, set up by the organisers, and it means that you can't have a car that has more than 390 horsepower, and it can't weigh any less than 1,100 kilos. So without much further ado, after that little boring introduction, needed to be done though, we see B-Rated has put it in first place with a good qualifying session. We have a 20-minute qualifying session before this is determined, these positions. So B-Rated in first place, and he managed to do a 1:47.054, I think it was, from memory. So really quick lap there in the NSX from B-Rated. Bales Tonovic in second in the Ferrari 458, has 91 in the Ferrari 458. Robust the Hood in the BMW M4 in fourth place. Fifth place is MRC CJW Racing in the NSX. Seawinkle is in sixth place in the NSX. Seventh is Ginger Crackhead in the BMW M4. Mutt is in eighth place in the Ferrari 458. Edwin 420, I wonder what the 420 means, is in ninth in the BMW M4. ADG123, which is me, is in the Viper, Dodge Viper, I don't know why, I lost my track a little bit with myself there. Ajax 30 is in 11th place, and he is in the Corvette. And Rocky Rich is in 12th place. Bit of a mention, there was someone who dropped out, I've forgotten his name now, I do apologise, in qualifying, and apparently the new style of qualifying, or the new system, or whatever it is, it means that if you end up dropping out or you disconnect or something within qualifying session, you can't rejoin and you end up missing the first race. So it's a really bad thing, and hopefully it can be looked at. Anyway, we'll watch B-Rated as he leads us away. So he gets a decent start, but Bales Tonovic jumps him straight into first place. Goes Bales, has 91, looks for the inside line, but B-Rated covers it off. And we watch them all head into T1. Bale doing a good job there straight away, getting himself up into first place, going around the outside. B-Rated managing to just about keep second place as he keeps the inside line and keeps Haz to the inside of him, outside, sorry. And away we go. So we've got Haz in third place now, CJW in fourth. Haz having a bit of a wide line there. Everyone trying to get going and trying to get some kind of rhythm going as early as possible in the race. Fifth is Mutt. I'll have a quick skip through and see what's going on. We've got, who's that, Edwin and Robust the Hood side by side. If I'm pronouncing your name wrong, I do apologise. All your names are new to me this time round doing this video, so I do apologise. If I get it wrong, I will try and perfect it over the season. Edwin losing out there to Robust. Robust just getting the inside line and getting the job done into the tight left-hander. See Ajax running in ninth, pretty close. It's all obviously pretty bunched up on the first lap. Everyone doing a good job. Looks like it's been clean so far for everyone. I had a bit of a moment. I nearly went into the back of someone, so I went to avoid them and ended up going off track, so I dropped myself right to the back. So I had to try and make my way back up straight away from lap 1. I didn't qualify the best, well, I hoped I was going to qualify better than I did, so it made it even more challenging dropping to the back. Anyway, we'll go up front. It looks like we've got Robust the Hood, Mutt and Ginger Crackhead all pretty close together on slipstreaming. Robust pulling out from the slipstream a little bit early, so he's lost a little bit of pace he could have had there. But we see Mutt just getting his braking completely wrong, going flying off into T1 there, so he messed that one up a little bit. A bit unfortunate for him. Robust doing a good job. Let's see where Mutt ended up dropping back to there, so he's right at the back after that incident into T1, going deep. Means that quite a few people have just made up a position because of that as well. Got C. Winkle right on the back of Ajax. Bale Stonovic still in first place at the moment. We'll skip back up to them shortly. So we see C. Winkle going for the inside. Around the tight, pretty much hairpin left-hander that comes out over a weird little crest. It's a tricky little corner to get right. So C. Winkle doing a good job there, getting past Ajax, get up into 8th place. Edwin looking to stick with Robust the Hood now as he's pulled a little bit of a gap. See if we can reel back that gap. We've got Ginger Crackhead right on the back of CJW. CJW and having a moment there, Overseer. Having to catch it. And that looks like Ginger Crackhead's had to lift off a little bit, which has brought Robust right back up to the back of him. So they're all running pretty close as they head into the start of lap 3. Robust right on his tail. Ginger Crackhead not taking the defensive option with the line, but it's a tricky corner to overtake into, so Robust would have to really get the balls out to be able to do it into that corner. Anyway, we'll keep we'll have a quick look at Bale Stonovic and be rated right on the back of him, chasing him for first place, which is good to see. Bale hasn't run off with the lead straight away. So it's a Ferrari versus NSX battle. Ferrari versus Honda, should I say. Good close racing, keeping it clean. The standard of driving when you get further up these leagues is particularly good. It wasn't really it wasn't bad. There was nothing to moan about when I was a bit further down. Anyway, I've missed actually commentating on the move. So B rated taking first place. Everyone choosing to use that tight left hand hairpin corner more or less to get the overtakes done if they feel like they've got the chance. So B rated taking his pole position back and puts himself back in first place. Bale in second now has 91. He's dropped off this battle at the front a little bit, so let's see if we can reel that back in within the rest of the race. CJW in 4th, doing a good job just sticking with the pack. Ginger Crackhead following nicely. Robust the Hood seems a bit it seems like he's doing good laps, looking to the right hand side, but just keeps dropping back, catching up, dropping back a little bit. Edwin seems consistent so far. This is pretty much my first look at most of you guys, so it's good to see. It gives me some idea of how you're driving and how respectful you are and aggressive and all the rest of it. And everyone else that watches this, that is. We can all see it for ourselves. So I'm trying to make my way past Ajax now. I've managed to get right onto the back of him. Mix up the camera angles a little bit. Just go for the inside line, but couldn't quite manage it down the inside then. So backed out. And then, like everyone else, when it comes to this tight left-hander, it's a good chance to overtake, so I went for the opportunity and managed to get down the inside of Ajax and run it side by side on the exit. Having to give him some room at the apex there and make sure there's no contact on that corner. But eventually I just managed to get my nose ahead and take 8th place off him. We've got Mutt in 10th place now. He's made his way back up from last place. Seawinkle's had a bit of an error, dropped right back. And we've got Rocky Rich right at the back now in 12th. Gonna have to grab a quick drink in a second. But it looks like Has 91 and CJW. CJW's got past Has now then. Excuse me. So good close racing going on, but a bit of a gap developing from the top first and second guys. B-Rated's now pulled away a little gap on Bales Tonovic as well. If we look at C-Rated's fast, B-Rated, sorry, C-Rated. B-Rated's fastest lap so far is a 1:47.123, so it's a very quick lap, is that? And if we look in comparison, on lap 4, Bales Tonovic did a 1:47.333, so just dropping back only slightly, but gapping slightly differently between the two cars. Got Robert Hood still chasing Ginger Crackhead. And Edwin's still chasing Robert Hood. Seems like he might stay in that position for a while by the look of it. Like I say, I've now got myself up into 8th place. Ajax looks like he's dropped back a little bit, and Mutt looks like he's coming through quite quickly to catch Ajax. I will just mention again, obviously for the people who are racing these that end up watching this, you're more than aware that's what's going on, but just saying it for the people that might not be aware that end up seeing these things. The second race, there's 2 races tonight. This is a half an hour race. I don't know if I've even mentioned that. This is a half an hour race, and then there's a second race as well that we run on the same night. It'll be a separate replay video that I'll do for that, but it all runs on the same night. And the second race is a reverse grid race from the results from this race. So basically, if you finish at the back of this race, you start at the front of the next one. And the second race is at the Nürburgring GP track, so it ends up being an hour's worth of racing in an evening, and 20 minutes qualifying tagged onto the front of that before we get away with the racing. So B-Rated doing a good job, just keeping an eye on those lap times. 1:47.0 now, so he's pretty consistent in that NSX. He did that, I noticed he did that in the practice session just before we qualified. He did it in qualifying at 1:47.0, and now he's just managed to do it in the race as well, so very consistent there from B-Rated. Very impressive stuff. CJW, we catch him just having a moment there. Real shame from 3rd place as well, so he drops down. Has now goes up into 3rd place then. Ginger Crackhead in 4th. And Robert Hood, so everyone gains a position that was basically behind 3rd place. CJW manages to get going again in the NSX. He's drifting again though in 7th place now. Actually just in front of me. So yeah, unfortunate moment there for CJW. Didn't quite catch exactly what happens, but looks like he just had a moment on his own, maybe caught the grass a little bit, and had a massive moment of oversteer that just got too much to catch. So ended up dropping back a little bit. We'll stick with this a little bit. I'm flicking through a bit too much. We'll stick with this little battle for a lap or 2 maybe, and see what these guys can do. Ginger Crackhead has 91. And Robert the Hood in the wrong order. I just read that out there. I'm terrible for stuff like that. I just say the names as I see them, not as the order they're in sometimes. Ginger Crackhead gone for the classic 69 on the side. Always a good number. Just take a moment to actually mention people's liveries. Everyone goes to the effort of trying to do a good livery. Well, most people. And yeah, it's good to see that there's a bit of time spent on that as well, and there's a lot of good looking cars driving around with the sponsors for the team that they're driving for written all over the cars. It's my dream to see in the next couple of years, not even in that distant future, to see real life sponsors on your cars, where you could actually potentially make a bit of money from someone sponsoring you in real life, rather than just sticking these stickers on your cars that don't really mean anything, but they all just look good. It'd be nice to see. Obviously you'd have to be a top driver to get sponsored, but it gives you some kind of something to aim for in sim racing, if that would end up being the case. So a good little battle going on between these guys, keeping the gap very similar by the look of it. Means that one little mistake is enough to drop you back, so the pressure's on for Haz and Ginger as well. Oh, as we see Haz on up. Looked like he'd gone off track there, but it looks like it was actually a moment of lag, so it was a bit of a false one. Yeah, it looked like he was in the gravel for a second there though. I'm worried for him. So we'll skip back up to B rated, see what the gap's looking like now to Bales Tonovic. It's annoying in the replay mode, you don't actually get the gaps that were actually happening within the race. If you watch it live and do the commentary live, you get all the gaps, so it's a bit easier to commentate on the people that are closing in on each other and all the rest of it, because you can see the gaps between everyone. But yeah, I haven't got that luxury within the replay. Edwin just dropping off a little bit now from Robosode, but still having a good consistent race. MRC CJW managing to get his foot back down, and he's pulled away from me again in the NSX now. It was right in front of me at one point as he dropped back. So I'm in 8th place now. We've got Mutt chasing me and catching me up slowly in 9th, and C Winkle not far behind him in 10th. Ajax now dropped to 11th place, and Rocky Rich in 12th. See how close it is when you go on the onboard camera. Sometimes when you're looking at it from the outside with the different cameras, it don't give you the perspective that you have whilst you're racing. So not everyone races with onboard cameras obviously, but even if you're on bonnet cam or whatever you use, it still feels really close when you're actually racing, and it don't always come across in the different angles for the replay videos. So it really gives you a real view of what's going on here, how close it is between us, and a bit of respect and on the brakes between us, and giving each other a bit of room. So Mutt's now got past me into 7th place. And there goes, with a brilliant move, to be fair. There goes C Winkle up me inside, but I managed to run it side by side with him into this corner, so I managed to get it back with the track position, basically having the racing line and putting him on the outside. So C Winkle, good, that tells me straight away. I've raced with C Winkle a little bit in the past, but not a lot, and that reminds me straight away that he's a good driver. He wasn't going to risk any contact there for a silly move, so manages to get it slipped up the inside as well into T1, and I just give him a bit of room, but maybe a little bit too much, and he's away, he's past me. So Seawinkle up into 8th place, and I'm now down into 9th as Mutt and Seawinkle have made their way past me basically. So Seawinkle's now got the chance. Now I've released him to try and catch Mutt up, as I just try and stick in Seawinkle's slipstream and stick with the guys in front really. Hopefully, I was hoping that they could pull me further up the order and pull me towards the guys further up, but didn't work out that way in the end. Ajax now in 10th. I've just noticed he's just gone past CJW. CJW not having the best of nights. Spoke to him since, and he had a bit of an issue with a sparring incident by the sound of it. So it sounds like he might have had a bit of a mild concussion or something at the minimum. So not feeling the best halfway through the race, he decided to just back out and drop off the pace, which is completely understandable if you're not feeling well. I'm sure he would have continued if he'd have felt up to it. So looks like he's dropped back now from Robos. We've missed the overtake. Typical of me, if you've ever watched me before. In fact, now with CJW dropping right back, Ginger Crackhead is up into 3rd place, Robos the Hood in 4th. So there's been a bit of a few changes going on up here. Has 91 is now in 5th, and Edwin's up into 6th. So everyone's gained a position basically. And I think Ginger has taken 3rd place obviously, but has been overtaken by Robos. So Robos got there in the end. He's a good racer, is Robos. I've raced quite a bit with him in the past in these MRC championships, and as we see him, as literally we're talking about him, we see him going side by side with Ginger Crackhead, and yet again going for that inside line. Oh, it looked like there was a little tap there, obviously not intentional. We've been watching these guys racing clean for lap after lap, so unintentional little tap there from Ginger Crackhead on the back of Robos, but it made it difficult for Robos to make that opportunity of the cutback, or look like what might have been the cutback work there. So Ginger Crackhead maintaining the 3rd place and fighting off Robos quite nicely there. It's good driving. Looks like that slowed him down a little bit though, so Haz is right on the tail of Robos now. All round good racing going on so far. I've not seen anything to worry about between any of the drivers or anything, so I know it's always a potential concern when there's loads of new drivers coming together for a new league. At the end of the day, you never know, you know, it's a complete unknown what everyone's going to end up driving like between them. But yeah, seems like we're all a good bunch, and it's all very good, nice, close, clean racing. So exactly what we always expect, but it's always good to see at the same time. I've dropped off the back of Seawinkle now, as you can see. Ajax having a little moment on the grass by the look of it there. Like I say, CJW not feeling the best. He's just dropped back for the easy race. And Rocky Rich, unfortunately, still running around in 12th. Not having the best race by the look of it in the GTR. So we've got Seawinkle chasing Mutt now, looking for 7th place before the end of the race. We are, how long are we into it? Where's the timer? So for some reason there's no timer left on the right hand side. I think I just used the timer on the, I'm used to a timer on the right. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Feels really slow as you drive through that tightening apex and then thread the needle, if you like, through that little chicane. It's not that hard, but thread the needle's the wrong word, but you know what I mean. Tightens and tightens to a little chicane at the exit. So Seawinkle having a little issue towards the end of that lap and dropped back a little bit now. Every time I look at Edwin, he's doing a good job, but he never seems to be really catching. He's a little bit closer, I suppose. But the main thing is he's having a consistent race. Oh, he's caught up there, right on the back of Haz as he went into there on the brakes. Robert Hood still chasing Ginger Crackhead as close as he possibly can to try and get any opportunity he can to get past. Let's see if he goes for the opportunity again down this tight left-hander. Seems to be the spot on the track for everyone to try at. Not this time round though, he's not close enough to try it. Got roughly about 10 minutes left of this race now. Hang on a minute, I missed some of that. Edwin's actually got past Haz, I don't know why. Just like completely missed that somehow. Oops. We've got Mutt and Seawinkle extremely close. Seawinkle putting a good bit of pressure on the back of the Ferrari of Mutt. He's looking for the inside line now, is Seawinkle. That's where he got me into T1. Trying again to make it work, but thinking better of it. Wasn't close enough to get a real chance at it, so didn't really try. Gets the cut back through there, looks for the cut back again, taking alternative lines as you can see. Mutt trying to stay defensive and Seawinkle trying to find a way around him. But good close racing going on, even though it's not right at the top. So Haz 91 just seems to have slowly dropped back through this race, but all in all it looks like he's had a good race. A few little issues here and there maybe, but still doing a good job. I'd have been happy with 6th place, if I was running around in 6th I'd have been quite happy about that. Oh dear. Oh, Robbo's getting very close on the brakes there. Well, I can nearly went into the back of him, but again, don't give the full story from the outside camera angle sometimes. It looks completely different to how it is actually when you're on board. BMW versus BMW now as well, so it's a pretty even race between Ginger Crackhead and Robert Hood. Like I've already said at the beginning, there's no setup, so there's no tyre wear and there's no fuel, so the car in theory is exactly the same every single lap. Right, just dropped off a little bit as Ginger Crackhead got a good exit there, so Robert has dropped back a tiny bit there. Just checking on B Rated, see how he's doing. Still going well in 1st place. Bales Tonovic can't even see him, so he's got a nice healthy gap as B Rated. Ginger Crackhead doing a good job of defending and keeping third place. He's been in third for quite a while now, doing a good job of sticking there though. He's worked his way up as well, he didn't start in third. Edwin 420, I'm glad to see him making a few positions up. He's been very consistent this race. Look at his lap times, says it all really. Has seems to have struggled a little bit since he's dropped off this, dropped back a bit in this battle. Seems to have struggled to stick with them a little bit. Looked like Edwin had a little moment on the exit of T1 there, so it has brought Haz a little bit closer to him. As you see, Robert still really running it on the back of Ginger Crackhead's bumper, trying everything he can think of to try and get past, trying to get that extra little pace, bit of pace out of every corner, trying to get that run and the chance to get past. Ginger Crackhead's doing the wise thing on the main overtaking corner. You've got to go defensive if you're trying to keep that position, so doing a good job. And again, I'm going defensive here, which is a very risky move for Robert the Hood to try and go around the outside there. So it's a tricky track to overtake on in a way as this one, but it's a tricky track at the same time, so it's hard to be consistent and actually keep it on the black stuff the whole time. You see Robert's having a little moment. He's dropped off the back of Ginger Crackhead there, which will be a nice little relief for Ginger Crackhead. Gets a bit of a gap. See what's going on a bit further down. We've still got Seawinkle and Mutt having a good race. It's still very close. They've been for a fair few laps now. Shows how even it is with this balance of performance that the organisers, well, pretty much Dennis Shewer and the other admin people that are involved in MRC have come up with. The NSX and the Ferrari there very equal down the straight, even with a slipstream. I think it's quite a good move what they've done as well, because bringing the weight down in some cases, in some cars, or in a lot of cases. Oh, anyway, we're on the final lap. I didn't realise. I'll shut up about that. I'm really professional, by the way, if you've never seen me. Yeah, get used to it. I don't get any better. B-rated in first place now, coming across the line in a second, coming around the last corner now. Through the very last corner, and very good race from B-rated. Didn't have the best of starts, managed to do a 146.66 as well on the last lap, so very good from B-rated. Didn't have the best start, but literally made it work and managed to get himself back up into first place pretty quickly, and had a really good race from then on, just kept the lead. Ginger Crackhead finishing in third, good race from Ginger Crackhead. Robos the Hood, good finish there from Robos in fourth. Edwin in fifth. Haz in sixth. All good positions and good racing for that, guys. You all fought for it. It wasn't as though you could let off or take it easy. Mutt 36 bringing it home in seventh now. Seawinkle didn't quite manage to get past Mutt, so he did beat him to the line. ADG in 9th, Ajax in 10th, and Rocky Rich in 11th. I've kind of messed that ending up. CJW has parked at the side of the track on the final lap, but like I say, wasn't feeling particularly great, so it's understandable. So that's the end of it, really. Yeah. this is race 1, like I've said already. I'll just repeat myself though. This is race 1. There is a second half-an-hour race. It's going to be a separate video, so check out that on my replay videos on YouTube. It'll be there shortly after this one appears. And thank you very much for watching. I'm going to pretty much leave it there, but maybe not the most exciting of races for race 1 of the championship, but at the end of the day, some good clean racing, some good close racing going on there. Just not that many overtakes, I suppose, but there was a good fair few in there, so it's good to see, and certainly some good racing between everyone. So thank you very much for watching again. I'm going to leave it there, and I hopefully see you again on the next video. And don't forget to like and subscribe if you've enjoyed this and you want to stick with it and stick with the season. I'll be doing every single race, so see you again soon, hopefully. Bye.